Listen, son, to all the sons out there. You can be anything you want to be. Keep God first and love yourself, love your family, and chase your dreams. Welcome to the Listen, Son podcast.
Welcome to the Listen, Son podcast. We're going to continue to grow our ministry, continue to do what we got to do to strengthen the father-son relationship and bring awareness to it. We're going to have a good one for you guys today. We got Jordan Jackson here visiting, guesting with us on the podcast. What's up with you, Jordan?
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate you for having
me. No problem. We're going to save the heat because it's going to be some good content. But we got my dad right there in the Bucks, Uncle Rick, honoring the legend with that jersey. Who is that?
That's money.
That's money.
Jersey.
Yes, sir.
Number 2. Yeah. It went when he played for Ashland.
Yes, sir. That look like a professional jersey you rocking. I like that joint.
That's nice.
Yeah. So as you can see, man, we very excited when we get with each other. But we not gonna hold this no longer. So Pops, I'm gonna let you start it off. Go ahead, Pop.
Jordan, we're glad to have you on the Listen Son podcast.
Man, I appreciate it.
And what age was you introduced to sports, man?
Oh man, I was introduced to, sports, but basketball mainly at a very young age. I would say, ever since I was about 2 years old, I had a ball in my hand and I was always running around, just shooting on my little goal around the house. And ever since then, I always had, a love for the game of basketball. And, with my parents both playing sports also, it was just I was brought into a sports world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Bringing up your parents, man, by them being, high profile athletes, how much pressure was that put on you? Or was it any pressure put on you?
Personally, and inside my circle, there was no pressure. It was always just be the best Jordan, just be the best you. Now, from the outside looking in, I can't answer that. There are probably people that put pressure on me that said, oh, he has to live up to this name, or he has to do certain things that his parents did. But from inside myself and inside my family, it was never any pressure. It was always just go out there and just be you. Don't worry about what everybody else outside says. And that's all I needed was to hear that. And, that just carried me through my career.
Did you play any other sports besides basketball?
When I was younger, I did. I played soccer. I ran track. I played football. I played baseball. I tried all the sports. When I was I played Little League football and Little League baseball since I was about seven or 8. And I played all the way until I'd say all the way like it was a long time, but I played until I was about 13.
Okay.
But I gave up soccer early. That wasn't for me. Soccer was not for me.
Okay. One last question. Yes, Jordan, the competition in Houston, man, they say it's pretty competitive. How is it?
I honestly feel like Houston has some of the best basketball. There's always, no matter what gym you go to around Houston, there's always going to be some guys in there that are going to get you a run for your money. There's several people currently in the NBA that are from Houston that, I actually played ball against in either high school or college. So Houston puts out a lot of great basketball players. So it's very competitive, especially if you go up to the Fondy, which is around downtown Houston. You can't. That's where everybody goes. So it's a very, very, very talent-filled area.
Well, I'm gonna pass it to Mike.
Thank you, Jordan. That's amazing for to start us off. But I want to ask you before I get into my questions. Did you ever get annoyed though? I heard that one interview that you had the player spotlight for Texas Tech, and you were saying when you enter games, nobody says, your mom's name, or they don't say your dad's name. They say Jordan Jackson is entering the game. So did you ever get annoyed by just how people introduced you or, recognized you?
In a way, I guess you could say that, but I feel like that's a very strong word.
Okay.
Because, I always want to pay homage to my parents. Always, because they were great athletes and they just passed that on to me, so I always want to pay homage to them because they did great things. But at a point, it was kind of like, okay, like I'm starting to kind of blossom off. Like I have my own name and this is me. And You know, I'm trying to make my own identity. So it was more of that and trying to focus on making my own identity than really getting annoyed or angry that, you know, because once again, that's what they know, right? You know, as of that's what they knew. And so now I started to make a name for myself, and now they know who I am.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think your time in high school, and you look very athletic, the things that you were doing. Take us through that you know, that part of your basketball hoops journey, and when did you start noticing that your recruitment was heating up and things like that?
Honestly, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't freshman, sophomore, junior. Like the end of my junior year, going into my senior year, was when my recruitment took off. Like before that, it was little schools here and there, just contacting, just trying to figure out information. But when I started playing with TJ Ford over the summer of my junior year, going into my senior year, that's actually when it took off. Like my recruitment took off, and it was really just one tournament. Honestly, it was the Bigfoot in Las Vegas, and we just had a really good showing as a team, and everybody was getting looks from everywhere. And you know, I just happened to get some really good looks at that tournament. And after that, it was just coming up with a decision.
Okay, all right. Respect to TJ Ford, man. That Milwaukee connection that he had with the Bucks, and he had that nasty spinal injury, man, career-ending injury. But I see he puts on for a lot of guys down there in the area. He does a lot of good things for you guys.
Oh man, yeah, he shows a lot of love to, you know, whoever wants to get better. He doesn't shout.
Okay.
Yeah, he does a lot. I love it.
Cool. That's awesome. Okay, and you want to talk about just the support that you had during that time? You know, a lot of people don't have that much, you know, that people to guide them or that support. But we'll talk about your inner circle and how people helped you just make the best decision for yourself at that time.
Oh man, you know, it really just stems from, you know, how my family raised me, like how my mom and dad raised me. You know, they were always in my ear, always in my corner, always letting me know when I'm messing up, but always giving me a pat on the back when I'm doing something right. You know, so that just allowed us to have a great bond moving forward. And you know, in that specific instance, when I was picking schools, they were basically just giving me the rundown on, you know, what's what and how college is and what you're supposed to look for, and you know, how to tell when somebody is trying to not give you the whole story, and you know, when somebody is giving you the real, you know, how to decipher in, you know, many situations, and just how to become more mature mentally and physically.
I like that.
And so it was, and they talked me through my decision, and but what they did tell me is it's ultimately my decision, but they're here to help and guide the way, and they support whatever decision I make.
Yeah.
And that kind of just, because I didn't really have to think about too much, and then I was able to just sit there in my own thoughts and decide where I wanted to go to school.
Yeah. And that's the perfect way to ask this question before Uncle Rick jumps in. You know, ultimately it was your decision, I'm pretty sure, to transfer. And I know you probably, you know, got ideas and opinions from your inner circle and your parents as well. But once again, that's your decision. So you want to talk about, you know, just how you did have a good time probably at Texas Tech, but then what led to you just feeling like, hey, I need a different change of scenery?
You know, it was honestly because I felt like I had the athleticism. You know, I felt like I don't feel like I had the complete knowledge of the game yet, and I felt like the game really needed to slow down for me. You know, and that's very high level basketball. You know, so for me to just, when I jumped right into that, yes, I could have played, but no, I wasn't physically nor mentally ready. And I was young. I was a young bull. I came into college when I was 17 years old, you know?
Oh, so wow.
I was young, so I needed to grow, and I needed to grow physically and mentally. And so, you know, I played in some games. You know, I had solid amount of play time as a freshman in the Big 12, you know, but I felt like I said, I felt my game needed to grow and to transform, and I needed to put some things together. And, you know, I felt like me taking that next step, moving on to junior college, was able to develop my game so that way I could, you know, get back to that Division I level.
Okay. We're gonna pause right there. I'm gonna let Uncle Rick jump in because I know he got some good questions. But we're gonna come back and we're gonna revisit that point at junior college. So go ahead, Uncle Rick.
Welcome, Jordan. How you doing there, son?
Doing good. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Hey, I'm sitting here on pins and needles. Mike didn't know how I am. I want to go first, but they went. But hey, we're all good now. We can get to rolling. Hey, my thing with you, as a scoring guard, and you definitely can defend, I found it very interesting with your pre-game ritual. I want to know what kind of impact did that have on your either your big games, or was that all your games that you ate the cookies, drank the milk, listened to your music, did the hot tub? I want to know, did you do that at every game, or that was just for the big games?
That was something I actually did that every game, honestly.
All right.
But that was just because I just got into a routine. And honestly, the cookies came the night before.
Okay. Okay. I can kind of relate to that. I was a sweet eater too.
Yeah. So the night before, I would bake me some cookies. I would watch me a nice movie. I have my cookies and milk, and I go to sleep. Then the next morning, now I'm already in that mental. That lets me know, that night before lets me know, okay, Jack, you're about to play a game tomorrow. Got to get ready. And it was honestly, it was just something that I just happened to do. Like, it wasn't anything I put any thought into it. I just did it one night before a game, and I ended up having a really good game. So I was just like, okay, what did I do the night before? And I'm really superstitious. I'm very superstitious. Like, I'm almost superstitious to the point to where, like, we played games, and if I didn't have the half that I wanted, I would go back into the locker room at halftime and switch shoes. That's just how superstitious I am. So yeah, it all came about just as a one-time thing. I didn't really put any thought into it.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Hey, keep it up, man. Might take you far. My next question. I understand you're almost done with your master's.
Yes, sir. I'm currently working on my master's degree in public affairs.
Okay. So what do you think you can do to help our society move forward, especially with the youth using your degree?
I always think about how, like, all of these activists and how all these social activists are out here actually speaking to the complete public. It's not using a platform. It's not them getting on social media. It's not them tweeting about it or posting a picture about it. They're physically walking out there, letting all of these people know. And I actually went to one of the protests. I went to the protest down here in Houston, which was huge. But just for me as a young Black man in today's society, for me to be able to physically see it with my own eyes,
mm-hmm.
because I've watched the movie Selma, and I've watched it multiple times. I've also watched the movie 42 multiple times, but I'm watching it on TV. So yeah, it pisses you off. It makes you angry, but it's almost like, well, I haven't really, like, I want to witness these things for myself. Like I want to be a part of change. And then when you're able to sit there as a young Black man in today's society and be able to walk the streets with other young Black men and other young Black women and older Black men and older Black women, when you see it with your own eyes, it almost brings tears to your eyes, and it almost makes you really emotional as you're going through, because you're a part of something that you've never been before. And so with my degree, I feel like I can step eventually, once it's complete, I've had some, more knowledge and learning about, how to go about certain things, and you're going to piss people off sometimes, but how to go about certain things to where you're actually heard, and where you're not just kind of pushed to the side, like, yeah, we'll take care of it, And so I feel like with that, I feel like with my degree, I'll have an understanding of how different levels of government work, and how you can attack different angles, and how you can look at different things, and how you can, bring about certain changes without physically damaging.
And that's what the world needs today. Another dynamic young Black man on the rise. And I know your parents gonna instill it into you, and they have done that already. And you're gonna make them very proud. And I know you've always done, and you're finna do it again. So thanks a lot for coming on Listen Son podcast and sharing that dynamic information, and it'll carry far with us and all our listeners too.
I appreciate that so much.
Not a problem, sir.
I like that, man. Jordan, because that's, man, getting that higher education, man. That's everything. So I'm rooting for you, man, from afar. You got 4 fans, man. We want you to go finish that, and we know you will. So go ahead, get that paper, man. So we back.
Man, definitely. I appreciate that, man. Much love.
No problem. So we back at JUCO, and we know leaving the D1 program, we know where you had to go JUCO. It was not probably the same lifestyle, same type of open door service and equipment or everything is probably not similar. So, what was that adjustment like for you? Everybody want to focus on the negatives, what you didn't have, but that probably helped you grow, like you said, the mental and physical capacity that you needed to do to take a game to the next level.
It definitely, because junior college is, especially where I was in Midland, Texas, you're in the middle of nowhere, literally the middle of nowhere. So at a junior college, like you said, you don't have the same luxuries. Like you're not getting those hot meals before and after practice. You know what I'm saying? And that makes me sound like I was spoiled, but that's not what I'm getting at. I'm trying to just explain, how it was, the difference. You didn't get the travel was completely different. You're not traveling on a plane. You packing up in buses and vans, and you driving everywhere. You're not taking a plane. And hotels that you're staying in. Yeah, luckily we stayed in some pretty nice hotels. But other than that, like you're by yourself. You're in junior college. You got to fend for yourself. That's just how it is. You got to fend for yourself because all JUCO is I got to come here. I got to get mine. I got to get my game better. I got to show these people so I can get up out of here. And people can tell you anything different. That's the mindset. That's how JUCO is. I don't care who you ask. That's how JUCO is. You're trying to get up out of there. You don't want to stay there. It's only 2 years anyway. You got to get up out of there. So I got to do what's necessary on the court and off the court so that I can, skate. So yeah, it was definitely an adjustment, but like I said, it made me mentally stronger as well as just understanding different life scenarios, not even basketball scenarios, but different life scenarios, how to make the best out of whatever you get, no matter what it is. Like when I first got there, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was like, man, I do not want to be here. Like why am I here?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
But then after I got over that, it was just like, okay, Jack, now it's time to lace up the boots. And you know what I'm saying? You got 1 year, do what you need to do. You're going to get up out of here. And and God going to bless you to get something really nice after this. You know what I'm saying? So I went through that and I went through my struggles at first. And my mom and dad, I was calling them, man, I don't want to be here, man. Like I'm sick of it already. Like, they telling me like, you got something bigger coming. Just hold on. Like, just push through, do what you got to do, keep your head down. Get your grades, do what you need to do on the court. You can get up out of there. And so, I just took that and just ran with it, man. And at a certain point, I just put my head down and didn't look back and just kept going.
I like that. And you said something that I want to ask you. What are some of those things that you had to do off the court? Some people forget about that. Like, you're not just going there to get, based off your athletic performance, you still got to perform. So what are some of the things you had to focus on off the court to make sure you got them the bigger blessing that you was going after?
It almost, and I'm going to be honest with you, it almost was a blessing in disguise because when I came from Texas Tech is a huge party school. It's a whole bunch of students. It's a whole bunch of different kind of students. It's a whole bunch of different things to do around the campus because it's so big. And so it's easy to get caught up in, I want to go out tonight, or I want to do this and I want to do that. When you're in Midland, Texas, there is nothing to do. So it honestly helped me. It honestly helped me become more disciplined because I can't go out on a Friday night. I can't go out on a Saturday night. So I'm in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in the gym and that's just helping me. But I don't realize that because I'm over here complaining that I'm here until I got to a certain point where I was just like, I saw that as I'm complaining about it, I'm still in the gym though those nights. And I'm like, man, why am I here, bro? Like, man, like, I don't want to be here. And then I start seeing my game just elevate and elevate and elevate. And then I'm like, okay, now let's go, And then I kind of got in that mindset where it turned and I was just like, man, this is a blessing. Like, it's a blessing that I'm here. I know it might not be the best situation, but I'm going to make it the best situation for me.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say would be the most memorable listen son moment that you had where your parents, over the phone had to tell you, I know you don't get it, but listen, this is what it'll do for you, or this is how it can play out. And when did you think that conversation helped you settle in?
Honestly, it was really when when I moved in, actually, when I moved down and I saw I saw where I was gonna be staying at, and I saw how it looked from what I came from to what I went to. I looked at my dad when we brought my stuff outside. I looked at him and I just literally just looked at him. I said, "Dad," and then that's when he was like, he just looked at me and he was just like, "Hey man," he said, "I had to do it." He said, "Your mom had to do it."
Yeah.
He said, "I had to do it. Your mom had to do it." And he said, and look where your mom went. And he was like, and she did this. He said, "So are you too good for this?" And when he told me that, I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you got me. All right.
Yeah.
Well, at that, it was just kind of like a moment where I was just like, I had to grit my teeth and I had to just get going.
Yeah.
I couldn't mope, and I could sit around and be mad that, oh, I'm not at Texas Tech, or I'm not doing what this person is doing. Like, I couldn't worry about that. And that's a lot of the problems that a lot of people have, is a lot of people are focused on what the next man is doing and what the next man has and what he doesn't have and what I don't have but the next man might have. And I at that point, I was just like, man, look, this is about Jordan, and Jordan got to get up out of misery. Ain't nobody else going to do it for Jordan. So I just had to buckle down, and, I finally understood, like, okay, it's a little struggle, it's a little grind, but it's a struggle in everybody's grind, any way you look at it.
Yes, sir.
That just happened to be mine.
Yes, sir. So a happy ending to this story. Jordan do get out of Midland. And where do Jordan end up going? And, talk about some of the things you end up doing at the university that you did end up attending.
Man, that was also a blessing, man. And because, like I said, going from junior college, immediately after junior college, I was thinking, like, okay, like where am I gonna go? Like, I had interest across the board. I had interest from here, but for some reason, nobody would pull the trigger.
We hear that a lot.
Because coming from JUCO, coming from JUCO, they're weighing options like, okay, do I take this kid I can only get 2 years out of, or do I take a kid that I can get 4 years out of, maybe possibly 5, and develop him exactly the way I want? If I take a JUCO kid, he already has his game developed in his head. And so I think that's kind of what it was. And so I had really good interest, but like I said, nobody would pull the trigger. So I was just like, man, what is going on? Like, now I'm getting discouraged and all that. So then I'm sitting at home and I get a call from Caleb Villarreal. He was the special assistant to the coach. He actually was at Texas Tech the year before I got there. So there's all these ties in there somewhere. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And the head coach, Coach Hill was the head coach at Oklahoma my freshman year when he coached Buddy Hield and all that.
Okay. So
he had taken the job at the University of Texas, Rio Grande, and they actually, it was like a spur of the moment thing. Like, they had, as soon as he got there, they had somebody transfer out that played my position. I get a phone call. He's like, hey man, we need a 2-guard. Took a visit, like literally 2 days later, took a visit, went down there, loved it, told him at dinner, I said, yep. I said, let's do it. Did that, went down there my first year, I loved the area. I was doing well. I ended up getting hurt. I had to redshirt that first year. And then after that, came back the next year, not this past year, but the year before last. Had a great year. We played well. Went postseason, made history. Like, they hadn't been to postseason in I don't know how long. So we made first postseason. Finished, I think, I would say 4th in the conference. They were finishing like almost last before. So we started making history, and then came home after that year. And I was just like, look, man, I got 1 more year left. Like, I got to get it. Like, I have to get it, man.
Yeah.
And so came home, worked on my game with my trainer, Coach Scott. Shout out Coach Scott, man. He coached me in high school. Great dude. Came home and we were grinding, man. So then I went back to school, and it was like a completely different me. Like my confidence level was through the roof. There wasn't I can say it now. I honestly feel like there wasn't a bad shot that I could shoot. Like, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like that certain shots that I do, I don't feel like they were bad shots. It's because I worked on those. Like contested pull-up jumpers or turnaround pull-up jumpers. I worked on those all summer. So to me, that's not a bad shot.
Yeah.
So I'm shooting these things in my head, and they're falling. And but it's so surreal because I'm like, dude, like, I've been through a lot. And finally, like, it's my time. Like, I paid my dues. And so now for me to see how good our team is doing, how, our point guard is leading us, how I'm helping lead us, how my other teammate Les is helping us lead us. And we're just and everything is just coming together. And when you see a team that, like, because I was around them, like I was around them for 3 years.
Yeah.
And so for you to actually finally see something like that come together and you build that from the ground up and you're a part of that, ain't no better feeling, dude. And then, like, it's even little things, like seeing the crowd grow. Like, from the first year that I was there, they were like, no fans. Then the second year, towards the end of the year, we had the whole gym sold out.
That's what's up.
We had the whole sold out by the end of the year. And what was crazy was it was because we brought a certain level of excitement. Like, we were an exciting team to watch. Like, if we were down 30 at halftime, people stayed at the game because we were going to come back. We were going to come back.
That's what's up.
I think we did that once against Lamar. We were playing absolutely terrible the first half. Lamar had us down by 27 at half. We came back and won by, I think, 4 or 5.
I like
so
that.
We just had, and that coach built into us. But the thing was, we took accountability on ourselves. Like, we took locking people down seriously. Like, we wanted to get stops. Like, we wanted to come in your gym and shut you down to where, like, and that's just the mentality we had. We were a defense-first team that just happened to have some really, really good offensive players. And when you have a team that is bought in defensively from head coach all the way down to the trainers, then when everybody is defensive mindset, we went into places and we stopped people. We held people. We got steals. We pressed the whole game. You're not breathing. Like, you couldn't breathe around us. We were sending double teams. We were trapping full court, half court, run and jump. As soon as you come across half court, we were just so sporadic, and we kept the game off tilt. Like, you were never gonna just sit there and be comfortable. We always were throwing something different. I honestly think we had at least like 10 to 15 different defensive schemes. We were switching defenses like people change underwear. Like you couldn't play. So it was just being a part of something like that, man. I'll never forget that. Like, and it was legendary. Like, this past year, we didn't get to finish the season, but we were in second place.
Okay.
Second place, man.
Yeah.
Coming from being season ranked, we were, I think, like, picked 5th or 6th preseason, and we came in second.
That's what's up. So you said something in there too. You said something in there too about just like being a team. Having each other's backs and things like that, which I don't think necessarily a lot of teams buy into. But I think that probably helps us too as children. How did some situations as children we go through, we have our parents, but we don't necessarily think about when the roles are reversed, how we can be that support system for our parents and stuff. They have been that for you throughout all your transferring and, you just your decision making. How were you that for your parents and things that they went through?
My parents really are the type of parents that whenever something's going on with them, or if there's ever something going on with them, they will never let me know, And so, but I kind of learned how to read people and pick up on certain body language, and certain facial expressions and certain things like that. And so, I'm real heavy on that. And that might be a blessing and a curse. But if I feel like, okay, I know how this person talks, but they said something a different way, like, what's wrong? I'm that type of person. And so whenever I feel like if anything is off, I'm a ask, like, you good? Like, what's wrong? But like I said, like, I always try to be an ear that my parents can go to and that they can try to talk to me because, like I said, I'm younger than you. Like, I don't know a lot. I don't know much, but I might have a little insight that I can give you off how I personally feel. Because we don't all know everything, So my parents, I might know something that my parents don't know. Like, my mama always come ask me about this thing right here.
Uh-huh.
She don't know everything about the phone, but I know a lot more about the phone. You know what I mean? So it's things like that. So I always try to just be, just be a good child to them. Just do necessary things that I need to do to make them proud and to show them that I care and that I'm here for them as well. Still, they know I got their back, do anything, thick and thin. But they just never been the type to put their stress, their dramas onto me because they want me to just stay focused. And which I truly, appreciate that. And I respect them so much for that, because you got to be a strong person to just, hey, I'm good. You focus. You got to be a strong person to bottle down how you feel to make sure somebody else feels good. So
yeah.
And that's something that I try to take that, from them. I'm not the type of person to express like my emotions, like how I feel. Like I'm the type of person, I'll put my stuff down before I let people know how I feel. So yeah, I'm guilty of that, and like I said, it can be a blessing and a curse sometimes. But that's just how I've been my whole life. Just trying to, and that's just what that's what my dad tells me. That's what my mom tells me. Never let anybody see you sad. Never let anybody see you angry. Never let anybody see you mad, especially when you're in the court. So that's just something that I try to take from not just being on the basketball floor, but in life as well. Like, try not to let people see when I'm down, or like when I'm mad, when I'm angry, because then you can exploit it that way, and people can take that as a weakness sometimes. So
Okay. And let's see if we can see if you really H-Town like you say you are, if you're really about that Houston life, as we kind of wrap up the show. If you're from Houston, what's one food you really like? Everybody, I know they're going to try to get on you when they see the podcast, but let's see. If you're from Houston, what's one food that's really that you're rocking with?
Like food place?
Yeah, let's go with food place. That might be too tough. What's a food option, food group?
Food. I'll go Waffle House and Breakfast Club and Turkey Leg Hut.
Okay. All right. If you're from Houston,
and Lotus Seafood.
Lotus Seafood. Okay. All right. If you're from Houston, what's some type of music that you like?
Type of music, you gotta have a chopped and screw, bro.
Okay. I got you.
If you don't listen to I don't like chopped and screw music, but I listen to it. Like I came to like it. Like the more I played it, the more I came to like it.
Yeah. And then if you're from Houston, what's definitely some of your favorite athletes or some of the people that you just grew up idolizing and loving?
Cheryl Swoop.
I got you. I got you.
That's a good one.
Do you have some of the say it again?
I say you can't go wrong there, man.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there. Do you got some of the shoes?
I do, but I can't fit them.
Okay. Gotcha. Yep. All right.
My mom's gonna sell them.
Are you gonna sell them? them legendary, them collector's items. You might want to keep those. But
oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. But I'm gonna let you wrap up the show with a message to your parents and just how much you appreciate them and all that they've done for you. And then just, listen parents segment to end the show. So go ahead. The floor is yours.
Oh, man. No, yeah. I just want to tell my parents, I'm so extremely thankful for them. Every lesson, every butt whooping, every yelling, and, everything that they've ever done for me, done with me. I truly appreciate everything. All the hour sacrifice, all the meals sacrifice when they were younger, everything from when I was an infant to, today. I want to just say I really appreciate everything that they've done for me, and that I love them to death. And I'm their number one fan, just as they're my number one fan. I look up to both of them, and, they both taught me very valuable lessons in life, and I'll remember every single one of them.
Yes, sir.
Thanks once again, my fraternity and sorority of listeners of Listen Son podcast. Please, women and men, please like, subscribe, and share. Continue to support our goals to connect untold special real life stories.